The movie begins and we are shown a kid named Finn. He is playing Tekken. While he is playing, his dad arrives and tells him that they are going outside and we'll be back at 12. They tell him to shut the game off after 30 minutes and they leave. After a few moments, Finn sees that the weather is getting really bad and he closes the doors. Her sister Anna knocks on his room and tells him to open up. Her sister comes in and tells him that someone is in our house and she is covered in blood and has a knife in her hand. They go outside to escape, and while escaping, Finn sees a spirit in their house. The spirit was looking like a cross between wind and wood. They get in the car and drive. They are singing to calm the situation. While they are doing that, suddenly Anna gets shaken up by something and she stops the car. She goes to the fence and calls Finn to come near him. She hangs on Finn's foot and tells him to please forgive him and jump with her. But Finn kicks her face and she falls to her death. Seeing this, we can confirm that she was possessed by a spirit or something. After her fall, the police and his parents arrive. They ask him what happened and he tells them that he doesn't know anything. He sees her body and starts screaming. The scene shifts and we are shown Finn, who is now a grown-up. He is getting a checkup. After his checkup is finished, he goes downstairs and his twin sister is shown. Her name is Sophie. They go to school and we see Sophie's boyfriend Ramin. Finn sees her crush Samira, who he really wanted to talk to. Then Lena arrives and tells her to propose to Samira or else he will be a loner. While they are talking, a boy invites them to the party he is having. They complete their classes and go to the party. Finn is not enjoying the party and he sees Lena, who is really having fun. Suddenly a guy named Leander arrives and gives him drugs so he could lighten up his mood. He drinks it and he starts seeing people covered in blood and collapses. The next morning, his parents tell Finn to go and meet his grandfather because he is really sick and wants to see Finn. He goes to the hospital and her grandfather tells him that he is a good boy and he wishes that he could spend more time together. While leaving the hospital, he sees an old lady in the hospital. At night, he hears sounds coming from downstairs and goes to see that the old lady and Sophie are taking their clothes off and they see each other's things. Finn was seeing all of this from outside and suddenly the spirit attacks him and he gets knocked out. He wakes up the next day where his parents tell him that they found him unconscious on the balcony. He goes to school and tells Lena about it. He tells him that he is scared that he might lose her sister and he doesn't want that. Sophie is shown fighting with his boyfriend and they leave. During PE, Sophie starts bleeding from her nose and she collapses. They take her home and she sees that she can move things with her mind and Finn is shocked to see that. At night, Ramin texts Finn that he needs to see him. He also tells him that his sister and he are in trouble. Ramin is at a diner, where an old lady calls him from the outside. He goes to her and finds her dead and laying on the floor. She wakes up and kills him with a rope. Meanwhile, we see that Finn has arrived at the diner and he finds Ramin dead in a car. He also sees the spirit and he runs away. After a few moments, the police arrives and finds out that due to drugs, Ramin committed suicide. When Finn is about to take his medicine, he finds something in his meds and when he opens it to see that there is something inside it. He shows it to Lena and they take it to their teacher, where she tells them that this is a fungus and she also gives them an address, and tells them to talk to this woman. She knows about this more. Lena and Finn also study the fungus online and find out that this is used in black magic. They go to the address and ask the lady about this fungus. She tells him that she needs to go see her sister because she is also taking this medicine. And she tells her that she is in trouble and she shows him scars and asks him if her sister has them as well. But Finn doesn't believe her and goes away. He goes to his grandfather, who was a priest, and asks him if he had seen any spirits or ghosts. He tells him yes, and then he is taken to the surgery room for an operation, where we see that some black stuff is coming out of his body. The operation is complete and the nurse tells him that his grandfather is okay now. When Finn comes home, he sees that Lena and Sophie are in his house and they also bring the lady with them. She starts checking the house, she sees Sophie and then she tells them that they need to do a ritual and no one will speak a word when the ritual is underway. The ritual begins and the spirit tells them that all of them are going to die and the machine gets burned. During this, Finn's parents enter the house and they see that the spirit has scared the lady. They tell her to leave and Finn gets angry seeing him and leaves his house with Lena and Samira. They spend the night together. Samira also sees that the spirit has held her hand, but Finn arrives and saves her. The next day at school, Finn sees that Leander is seeing something in his mouth. Finn checks it and finds that he is also taking the meds. After a few moments, they see that Leander is on the roof of the school holding a knife. He is doing the same thing Anna was doing in the beginning and shoves a knife in his mouth. It looks like he is trying to take something out of it. Then he jumps from the roof. They call the ambulance and take him to the hospital. Lena finds the pack of the tablets Leander was taking. She goes to the factory to see how they are doing this. She finds out that Finn's father is running the industry and she is shocked to see him. They tell her that this medicine is going to cure depression and anxiety. She then goes to the basement to see what is going on. Meanwhile, Finn finds a fungus from Leander's mouth and sees that it has become really big. They also check his bag and find out that Leander and Samira are orphans, and he also finds out that he is also an orphan. On the other side, Lena goes to the basement and finds all the people who had been test subjects for the company. The lady from earlier was also there. Finn goes to his grandfather and suddenly someone knocks him out, and when wakes up he sees himself strapped down. And he sees her doctor. She takes him to a room where his family was. They tell him that they are going to transfer the soul of his grandfather to his body like what did to the old lady. They begin the procedure and his grandfather climbs on top of him and transfers the soul in his body. But during the process he sees that Lena has arrived and put fuel on them and burn them alive. She unties Finn and Samira and they go outside. Finn takes the fungus out of his mouth and they go to their car and drive. Along the way the spirit appears in their car and they crash into the bridge. It is the same place her sister died. They go outside from their car and successfully protect themselves from evil spirits. They go home, but in the end credits they see that Samira has been possessed by the spirit as well and the movie ends. That's all for now. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.